My mother passed away a few years ago. And just like so many women during her generation, she took on her husband's name when she married. She never had a passport, and she never really needed one. But under Donald Trump's and MAGA Republican SAVE Act, if she was still with us today, she may have been blocked from voting in her own country. The SAVE Act just passed the House, and it's going to require that every American show proof of citizenship to register to vote. That means that you have to have a passport or a birth certificate that matches your legal name or a real ID that proves citizenship. 84% of married women change their names when they marry. That's millions of American women whose birth certificates no longer match their legal names. And they're going to face obstacles because their documents show different names. My mother was one of them. And it's not just about women who change their names. 3.2 million people in Wisconsin, a little more than half our state's population, they don't have a passport. Many of them include seniors, people like my mom who never needed one or don't have one. So I want you all to think about the elderly voters in your life, your grandmother or grandfather, the neighbors that live down the street. This law would especially burden elderly voters in assisted living, people who may have difficulty traveling or tracking down decades-old birth certificates and navigating bureaucratic red tape. And here's where it gets worse. The passport alone costs $130, and that may take weeks, sometimes months, just to receive that. For seniors who may be on fixed incomes, for working families struggling to make ends meet, this is essentially a poll tax. We're asking people to pay money to exercise their constitutional right to vote. And to make matters worse, this bill would eliminate online voter registration entirely. That effectively makes mail-in voting obsolete. And who relies on mail voting? Seniors with mobility issues, people with disabilities, working parents who are juggling jobs as well as childcare, people who can't afford to leave work in the middle of the day to wait in lines at the polling place. These are real people, real Wisconsin voters who will be blocked from exercising their right to vote. Now, I know what some supporters of this bill say. Representative Style compared this to showing ID about alcohol. You need ID for that, he said, so why not for voting? Well, here's the thing. Wisconsin already requires photo ID to vote. But voting isn't like buying alcohol. Voting is a constitutional right. The ID requirement for alcohol is about public health and age verification. And by the way, Wisconsin's real ID compliant driver's license don't confirm citizenship. So under this law, driver's license wouldn't even be enough anymore. So what problem are we solving here? This isn't about election security. Wisconsin's elections are already secure. This is about making it harder for eligible Americans to vote. My mother deserved to vote without jumping through impossible hoops like all women and people in this state, in this country. Wisconsin voters deserve the same.
Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm not even going to hold you. This is going to be really quick because I am sharing with you guys a vision that I had early this morning before I went to work, and what it meant. Earlier this year, I did a video actually about the same vision, so I was surprised to even see this again, but this time with my eyes closed. What I saw was an image of the Statue of Liberty toppling over, and the replica Statue of Liberty in Brazil actually toppled over at the beginning of the year, or the end of last year. And if you go back in my January videos, it's like, I think it's probably like either my first or second video, I shared it and different commentaries about why it may have happened from different TikTok content creators. But this time, what the Spirit of God is telling me is that the meaning for the vision of it, the reason why he showed that to me, was different from what those content creators were saying. I actually found other content specific to today and what's going on with voting and having to get your passport to vote. And we have a lot of thoughtful creators, very educated people who have their 2 cents to share about it. So I'm going to share that in this video. But I want you to read the bylines that I share. The bylines that I share are going to tell you what my vision meant. And then you can take your time and put 2 and 2 together. All right, be good.
PSA for all women in the United States. You need to get your passport tomorrow. Literally go online and make an appointment tomorrow and go get your passports. Every single woman in the U.S. should have their passport. Today, the House passed the SAVE Act, which is essentially a voter suppression act. They are requiring proof of citizenship in order to vote, and the real ID is not proof of citizenship. There is about to be a bunch of misinformation about how it is probably enough to vote, but it is not. You can look this up. The real ID does not prove citizenship. So you need birth certificate and a driver's license, but the names have to match on those, and if those don't match, then you need to also provide your marriage certificate. But they're saying that if you provide those 3 documents at the polls, they can refuse you because those documents can be easily doctored. So you need to get your passport. Every single woman has to get their passport. It's like $130. Work on it now. Book an appointment ASAP.
The State Department has confirmed it's moving forward with actively revoking passports for parents who owe more than $2,500 in child support. This isn't a new law, but it's being brought back hard. It's a 30-year-old rule, the passport denial program, that's now being enforced more aggressively than ever. Until now, the government could only block or cancel your passport if you applied for a renewal or contacted the State Department. But now, they're proactively canceling valid passports, using data from Health and Human Services. Officials say they'll start with the most serious cases, which are parents who owe more than $100,000 in back child support. That's fewer than 500 people. But once the threshold expands, that could impact thousands of Americans. If you're overseas when your passport is revoked, you may only be allowed to return directly to the US, not travel anywhere else. The State Department also says it's pretty simple. Deadbeat parents need to pay. Parents can avoid revocation by working out a payment plan or paying the debt in full. But the message is very clear. If you owe child support, your ability to travel internationally could disappear without you even applying for a new passport. And this time, they're not waiting for you to call them first. Now, I really don't know how to feel about this. I don't have kids. I don't pay child support. So let me know your thoughts. I'm sure this is going to go just as well as every fucking thing else in the administration.
I was trying to find my old video to tag to this one, but I'm just letting you know, I told you so. We are under attack, and we have been under attack, and that is a part of the plot that nobody is really registering. He signed into this whole little law thing. You know, I don't think anything he signs is law, but anyway, we have to follow the rules. So now you are required to have either a passport or a birth certificate when you go ahead and go register to vote or to go vote. The problem is some women haven't paid attention, and now they're going to have to scramble to either get some sort of verification or to get a birth certificate amended so that they can go vote in the midterms. Please start now, please. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I had an inkling about this a while ago, hence I made the video, but I made sure to wait to change my name officially. I can still go vote. So I told you, but I'd rather not be right in certain instances. Please, if you have your name adjusted because you are married, love marriage, please go see what your requirements are so you are not held out of voting this year. We have been under attack and you have been warned. Stay vigilant, friends.
Have you gotten this far and haven't hit the subscribe button nor the like button? If you're a subscriber, please give me a like. It pushes me up on the algorithm. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'm always talking about new things, current events, and really what's important as far as ascribing modern day life to what God is telling us in the Bible. I'm also diving into the Ethiopian Bible, so I'm sure I'll be sharing a lot of that insight here on the channel as well. So please take the time to like, share, and subscribe, and also feel free to comment. Thanks, and God bless.
Requiring people to pay $165 for a passport in order to vote sounds a lot like a poll tax that was eliminated by the 24th Amendment in 1964.
U.S. citizens can now lose their passports for failing to pay child support. This dates back to a 1996 law which prohibited the issuance of U.S. passports to citizens who owed more than $2,500 in child support payments. the Trump administration prefers a rather proactive approach to this issue. So instead of sitting and waiting on the US citizen to come in and try to renew their passports before they got denied on the grounds of being in arrears on child support payment, the Trump administration takes this a step further. So they would also go ahead and revoke US passports already issued to US citizens who owed more than $100,000 in child support payments, with a potential of reducing this threshold later on this year. So US citizens and everyone else, please take care of your children.
Dance me, I try to sneak a scatter rap game, but my fans knew it. Don't get scared now, tell the people they been sleeping. Now they counting dead, now that shit get scared, niggas creeping. You can better leg now, when they do, they gonna sleep in. I turned in